Hey, check out my new sponsored video about Squarespace, the all-in-one tool for building and running a website. Get yours up and running by using my link and code in the description. My name is Adam Ragusea, and I am not a chef. I am an internet cook, and for that I am grateful. Running a restaurant is a really hard life. My job is comparatively easy, though I'd say only about 5% of it is spent actually cooking and being with other people. The other 95% of it is spent doing this. So you can imagine why sometimes I fantasize about what kind of restaurant I would run if I were to ever get off my computer and get into a real kitchen. If you're ever not really sure about what you think or want or believe, the act of writing it down can help you find out. So that's why I'm making a website for my fantasy restaurant. Here at squarespace.com, you can start toying around on something totally for free. Say get started, and here's the template categories. Restaurant. That template looks nice, I'll go with that one. First thing I'll need is a name, and I've known for a while that I would call my restaurant Old Dough Pizzeria. I love food names that are superficially unappetizing, like what they call burnt ends on a barbecue brisket. Sounds like a mistake, but it's actually the best part. I find that I get the most delicious pizza dough when I let it overproof, as more tradition-bound cooks might say. Just let it sit in the fridge for a week. Old Dough Pizzeria. Really, all you need to make a site with Squarespace is some pictures and some words, some things to say. You just go into one of the templates and you start replacing their stock photos and their stock words with what you have to say. And you can do all of your editing right in here. You don't need any additional software. Here's their built-in image editor, and I'm going to up the contrast on my photo a little bit. Here's something that every YouTuber who makes thumbnail images knows. In order for an image to read at a very small scale, i.e. on mobile, you generally need to up the contrast. You need extremes of dark and light. I can also play around with flipping this image from side to side to see if the text might pop a little better on the table versus on the bread. And even if it doesn't, I can just reduce the opacity of the picture until the text on top of it is clear. Now for the hard part, what's going to be on my menu? I'll do this right into the template here, and my menu is going to be deliberately tiny, just a few items. I love those French bistros that are literal mom and pops. The back of the building is their house, the front of the building is the restaurant, they have half a dozen tables and like 3 things on the menu at any given time. So the first thing I'm going to have is what my kids call pizza bread, one of my old doughs stretched out and baked with oil and seasonings on top. I think I would go easy on the toppings so that I could serve it with a little dish of seasoned olive oil for dipping. I figure you want to give people something to do while they wait for the rest of their food. Speaking of which, pizza. Unless you're doing some really esoteric pizza, I think it's kind of insulting to put specific topping formulations on your menu. Just give people some options and they can build their own. Choose red sauce, white sauce, or garlic-infused olive oil. For cheese, fresh or low-moisture mozzarella, and then some toppings that I would hope would be seasonal, just a random variety. And then for people who aren't seeking death by carbs, I think I might offer 1 meat special per night. Something that I think would work really well in a restaurant is a recipe of mine that I really like and that I haven't filmed yet. It's a pork roulade stuffed with sausage and fennel and topped with, of course, white wine pan sauce. A roast like that is great for a restaurant because it can sit around all night, you can just carve off a piece when you need it, and the last piece will be just as good as the first. I suppose I should offer a salad or something. I could use the Ragusea family dressing, which at its core is white vinegar, oil, and celery leaves. I grew up on that, I love it. Now for dessert, I like the idea of just bringing out a big plate of mixed cookies, a different variety, different things every night. You'll never know what you're going to get. It provides a little surprise or element of mystery to the meal. Now for drinks, you can have water, or you can have Cheap House Red or Cheap House White. Oh, but what vintage is that? Shut up, just drink it. I'd sell it in carafes, a whole or a half. A house wine that you can buy in a big barrel is great because you can get it for really cheap for your customers. It's bad because it doesn't come in a bottle, and it's much more convivial to have something on the table that everyone passes around and pours from and shares. It's really, really nice, and a carafe fixes that problem. You just pour the wine into a carafe and get the best of both worlds. And yeah, that'd be my little menu. Me and Lauren would both cook and serve. Our little boys would bus tables and wash dishes until they got old enough to realize that they were being exploited and quit, and that sounds like a pretty nice life to me. I mean, my job is probably better, but that sounds like a nice life to me too. Oh, and because I'll be the as seen on YouTube guy, there'll naturally be competition for those half a dozen tables, so I'll need to take reservations. Luckily, there's an open table block right here in the template. Done. Last thing I need is a custom domain, which Squarespace can register for me. Fingers crossed, and yes! OldDoughPizzeria.com is still available. Can't imagine why. Now, if you get this far on your site and you decide that you're ready to actually publish it, to make it live, that's when you can go to squarespace.com/Ragusea and enter my offer code Ragusea. You'll save 10% on either the site or on the domain registration. This video is an ad for Squarespace, and I want to thank them for their ongoing patronage of what I do for you. Whatever you do, you can tell the world about it with a Squarespace site. Live your dreams, hang a shingle, get out there, see who walks in the door.